Hello everyone, welcome to another video on group behavior. In this particular video, I am discussing few constraints of group decision making process. In group decision making process, more number of people are involved than an individual decision making process. When more number of people are involved, there will be a lot of constraints and challenges. Let us examine few constraints of group decision making process. The first constraint of group decision making process is time constraint. In group decision making process, we have to give chances to every member in the group. It may be a rotation process they are talking. So when every member are given a chance to talk, it is a time consuming process. This particular phenomenon we call it as a time constraint in group decision making process. Here we define a phenomenon called production blocking. When every member are allowed to speak, sometimes you have a tendency that you may forget your idea. You may forget your idea, or sometimes you may feel that my idea is already expressed in the group. So when you come to your turn, you feel like be silent, or you are not going to express your idea. This particular phenomenon we call it as production blocking. This production blocking is occurring because of the time constraint involved in a group decision making process. So that is the first constraint in group decision making process. The second constraint in group decision making process is evaluation apprehension. The word is evaluation apprehension. Sometimes group members will be reluctant in expressing their idea by thinking that my idea is silly, and others may think about my idea is very bad, so that they don't express their idea in a group decision making process. This particular phenomenon occurs when there is a hierarchical difference between the group members while sitting in a group decision making process. Just think about an example. You are a junior employee in office and you are having a meeting or group decision making process with a senior manager in the same office. Sometimes you will be more tensed, or you may think that if I express something in the group and if my idea is wrong, what my senior manager will think about my idea. So in that context, you will be reluctant in expressing your ideas in the group. This particular phenomenon we call it as evaluation apprehension. We say evaluation apprehension is that the tendency of group members to be silent or being reluctant in expressing the idea by thinking that their idea may be evaluated by others as thinking that it is silly or it is not that good. So that is the second constraint in group decision making process, that is evaluation apprehension. The third constraint in group decision making process is pressure to conform. This particular phenomenon occurs in a highly cohesive group. Sometimes you will be having a different opinion while having a decision making process, but you don't express your idea because majority of the group members are supporting that particular ideas. Even though you are having a different idea, you are forced to follow the particular decision of the group. This particular phenomenon or this particular constraint, we call it as pressure to conform. So this is the third factor third constraint in group decision making process. The fourth constraint in group decision making process is groupthink. So what is groupthink? Groupthink is a phenomenon where group members give importance to group harmony than the quality of the decision. So this particular phenomenon occurs when a highly cohesive group. In a very highly cohesive group, when a team member sit for a quality of decision making process, they will be reluctant in expressing a quality idea by thinking that the harmony of the group will be affected. So this particular phenomenon we call it as groupthink. Groupthink is an important constraint in a group decision making process, and that is the fourth constraint of group decision making process. The fifth constraint of group decision making process is group polarization. So when we work in a group, when you sit in a group decision making process, when sometimes if you're having a discussion, there is a positive as well as a negative aspects. When having a strong debate, when having strong discussion going on, group members will be polarized to one extreme side. So they'll be either strongly opposing the particular opinion, or they'll be strongly going for the particular opinion. They'll take some extreme end. This particular phenomenon we call it as group polarization. Group polarization is also another constraint in group decision making process. So these are the 5 important constraints in group decision making process.